Those who live today remember those who do not. And those who know freedom remember today those who gave up life for freedom. Today, in honor of the dead, we conduct ceremonies. We lay wreaths, we speak words of tribute, and in our memories, in our hearts, we hold them close to us still. Yet we also know, even as their families knew when they last looked upon them, that they can never be fully ours again, that they belong now to God and to that for which they so selflessly made a final and eternal act of devotion. We could not forget them. Even if they were not our own, we could not forget them. For all time, they are what we can only aspire to be: giving, unselfish, the epitome of human love, to lay down one's life so that others might live. We think on their lives, we think on their final moments. In our mind's eye, we see young Americans in a European forest, or on an Asian island, or at sea, or in aerial combat. And as life expired, we know that those who could had last thoughts of us and of their love for us. As they thought of us then, so too we think of them now, with love, with devotion, and with faith, the certainty that what they died for was worthy of their sacrifice. Faith, too, in God and in the nation that has pledged itself to His work and to the dream of human freedom. And a nation, too, that today and always pledges itself to their eternal memory. Thank you. God bless you.
Good evening, Jason Ditzler here with you, and happy Veterans Day. To all of you who have served, who have signed your name on the dotted line, to all those who are watching, thank you. To all those who aren't with us anymore, thank you. To the families who stood beside their service member in life and sometimes in death, we thank you. While this is not a Memorial Day per se, it is a day of remembrance. When you go out to eat and you get your free food and you say, hey, I really want that 7-ounce steak. Remember that the empty seats are filled with those who aren't with us anymore. Remember those people. Don't forget them. To the younger veterans out there, I challenge you to do something today. Talk with a veteran that's twice your age, 3 times your age. Learn from that veteran. And know that they are not forgotten. And though Veterans Day comes once a year, it's celebrated the 11th day of the 11th month. The ceremonies start normally at the 11th hour, symbolizing Armistice Day. What would become Veterans Day. So once again, go out, get your free food, enjoy it, wear all your military related clothing, get your pat on the back, get your free food. Don't forget to tip your waitress. Let me bring that up real quick. I mean, honestly, people, you get free food, some places even a free drink, and what do? You say thanks for the food and you walk out. Your wait staff are making minimum wage. And not normal minimum wage, but minimum wage with tip. That is just over $2 an hour. 8 quarters an hour. And some of y'all cheap people, to put it nicely, take your food and walk out. Stop making the rest of us look bad. Stop making the rest of us look like cheapskates. And okay, to those of you who maybe held out a few months, didn't make it through basic training, I still appreciate your service. I still appreciate your willingness to sign your name on the dotted line and at least try. Here's what I don't appreciate. What I don't appreciate is you coming in and pretty much bossing everybody around because you think that because you served 2 months, that somehow that entitles you to a free beer. When none of the other veterans are getting free beer. None of the other veterans are getting free drinks. Except at some places. But somehow, you think that you deserve something. It also brings up something that I didn't really want to talk about, but I have to. And that is stolen valor. Somebody who takes a uniform, puts it on, and claims to be somebody that they're not. They claim to be a veteran. Now, most people nowadays, especially veterans, understand how to wear a uniform. Now, First Sergeant Washington, you know that I've always been one to wear my uniform perfectly. You've never, ever told me to change anything on my uniform. I was always perfect. But there are people out there who seriously think that if they wear Marine Corps insignia on an Army ACU uniform, even though ACUs are getting phased out, they figure if they get their Marine Corps insignia on Army ACUs, that they can BS their way into getting a free meal. And that to me is absolutely, well, you do it here next to Fort Knox, and well, I guarantee you're going to have a bad night. I'm going to sit in my car, and I'm going to laugh at you getting your butt handed to you by the soldiers, I'm sure still Marines. Fort Knox is still a pretty big Army installation, and they still do lots of training. But at least the soldiers do not like it when you play dress up. So please don't think that you get something special just for being a veteran. Because Veterans Day is merely a Memorial Day by a different name. A day when we remember those who could be sitting at the table who aren't.